Good morning everyone. So let's begin our part 2 of chapter number 9 it is, right? No, chapter number 10 it is. So the comet part 9 it is?
Yes, ma'am, 9.
Okay. Chapter number 9 comet part 1, right? So we shall be looking at the part 2 on page number 77. Yeah. So the bullet point says what we are going to find in this part 2. Let's have a look. A British scientist writes a paper based on Datta's discovery. Second point says he and the defense science advisor have a tete-a-tete over an impending calamity. A conference of international experts might yield a clue to the cosmic puzzle. Okay. So these three things are to be seen in this part 2. Let's begin. In the spacious dining hall of King's College, Cambridge, the butler whispered deferentially in the provost's ear and handed him an envelope on a silver tray. The provost beckoned James and passed on the envelope, saying, "It seems you are wanted urgently in your room." As he made his way towards the beautiful building, James opened the envelope. It contained a brief note. "Dear Dr. Forsyth, the bearer of this note has been instructed to bring you to my office in London tonight. Please come without delay. I am making arrangements for your overnight stay in London. I regret the inconvenience caused to you and request you to keep your visit strictly confidential. Believe me, it is absolutely essential. Yours sincerely, John Macpherson." So John Macpherson has sent a written note to James. Now the signature carried the designation underneath: Defense Science Advisor, Her Majesty's Government. A bowler-hatted man near the mantelpiece greeted him as James entered his sitting room. "I'm Johnson, sir, security officer at Whitehall." He showed his identity card and continued, "I presume you know why I am here, sir." "To the extent that is conveyed in this note," replied James. He knew that it would be useless to ask Johnson for further details. "I won't take long." Johnson's Ford Cortina brought them to Whitehall in less than 90 minutes. It took them another 10 minutes to reach the chambers of Sir John Macpherson. Having introduced James to Sir John, the quiet but efficient Johnson slipped out. "Dr. Forsyth, my apologies for this imposition on your time." Sir John advanced with outstretched hands. "To avoid any further delay, I will come to the point right away." Sir John handed him a typescript. "Why, it is my paper to nature. How did you get this original manuscript?" James was surprised and somewhat uneasy. Sir John saw his anxiety and continued, "Taylor, the editor of Nature, is a friend of mine. I had asked Nature to publish it without delay, since it is very important." James looked puzzled. "I agree that it is important, so important, in fact, that it must never be published. That is, if what you say is correct." Sir John lit his pipe. "What do you mean by lit his pipe? Was he smoking cigar?" "I'm asking something. You people can unmute and reply. What do you mean by lit his pipe? Was he smoking something?"
Yes, ma'am.
Whose mic is this? Kindly fix it. Whenever it is unmuted, it has a lot of noise, right? Yeah, so James would never have tolerated aspersions on the accuracy of his work or the implied order that it must be suppressed. But he knew Sir John to be a respected scientist and was willing to hear him out. Please do not misunderstand me, Dr. Forsyth. I met Taylor today at lunch in the club where he showed me your paper. I still retain enough interest in astronomy, and he asked for my opinion before sending it to a professional referee. I immediately realized that your result has profound implications, if it is correct. Alright, now till 78 I am keeping it till here only. And now I am asking you people to read the text from the second part has begun from this. Read it again and form at least 5 questions. No question should be like similar. If student A has formed 5 questions and I am beginning with student A, so the student B must change his questions if at any moment he get to feel that, oh, my question has been taken by the previous student. Right? So, ASAP frame 5 questions from each passage. Quick. And open maximum cameras. Only Suprabha and Sumit Singh can be seen on the screen. Sumit, I want you to work on the caricatures of this chapter. Identify how many new characters have been added in this part 2 and you can go for a comparison with the part 1. I'm highlighting some words and these words can be used by you in your questions. Along with the proper nouns and the names of the characters, there are difficult words as well, which you are supposed to write in your notebook. So keep underlining them. Whenever you will be submitting the work of this chapter, you need to include the hard words too. till here only I have finished, right? 78. I have not read the lines and the text of page number 79. Have I?
No, ma'am.
Okay, then make a note of all these words and must include it in your work. Just give me 2 more minutes and then I'll ask you. Be ready with your questions.